Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the board meeting of the Rialto Unified School District. At this time, we will report out of closed session. Mr. Islam, is there a report?
Thank you, Ms. Gilbert. No action was taken in closed session.
Thank you. Open session is reconvened at 7:17 p.m. Please note that we have a full board meeting tonight, and we will start with Pledge of Allegiance from Cole Middle School Cadet Captain Tino Luis. There you are. Come on down.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may now be seated.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Martinez, for noting that we omitted to adjourn closed session. May I have a motion to adjourn closed session?
I make the motion we adjourn closed session.
I'll second it.
Thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried, and the time to adjourn closed session is 7:19. Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Now we will have an adoption of the agenda. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make the motion that we adopt this agenda.
Mr. Martinez, thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Kelly. Any questions, any pulls? May I have a preferential vote by a student board member?
Aye.
Thank you. Vote by board members.
Aye.
The agenda has been adopted. And we will start with presentations. You can go to college fair report and student recognition by Veronica Smith-Izzard. And while Mrs. Izzard is coming, I would like to read about this You Can Go to College. We had a very exciting, wonderful event at Carter High School on September 18th last week called You Can Go to College, Historically Black Colleges and University Recruitment Fair. More than 2,600 students were in attendance. Rialto Unified School District hosted the higher education opportunity for Rialto and Fontana Unified School District secondary students. You can invited more than 50 colleges and university to Carter High School gymnasium, with many students receiving full ride scholarships on the spot. There were over 45 colleges and universities, including representatives from Howard University, Hampton University, my alma mater, Virginia State University, Tuskegee University, and Benedict College, which participated. I attended the UCAN recruitment fair, and I was excited to see and meet several students, including Carter High School student Vanessa Ramirez, who was awarded the full ride scholarship to Benedict College. I believe some of our students who were instantly awarded scholarships or acceptance and full rides are here tonight, and I'm sure Mrs. Azad is going to introduce them. On behalf of the Rialto School Board, I would like to take this opportunity to personally thank our administrators, teachers, and counselors, the bus drivers who brought our students there, the aides who attended the UCAN recruitment fair and worked very hard to make this a successful, inspiring opportunity for our kids. And also, I just would like to thank Mrs. Foote because she was there to open Carter for us. Thank you, Mrs. Foote. And the ASB students, they were just so wonderful, and the ROTC cadets. These students put on a show, and they really represented Rialto School District in their performance. I just got a little sidebar, Mrs. Azad. But now I want Mrs. Azad, who is the Director of Career and Technical Education, College Outreach, to briefly talk about some of the statistics and achievements that derived after this UCAN recruitment fair. Mrs. Azad.
Thank you, Board President Gilbert. But I do want to give a couple of acknowledgments that you weren't able to give. Early in August, Mrs. Gilbert and Mr. Islam came to the team because they had been contacted by UCAN organization, that stands for United College Action Network, about doing a fair in Rialto. And they jumped on it right away. And we were able to accomplish quite a bit in 5 weeks to get all of this going. But it would not have happened if they hadn't brought the team in and said, we want to do this. And the next part of that was getting partners. And it was their idea for us to partner with another district. So this event was really great because we had excellent community partnerships and we collaborated very closely, and we were able to service so many students in the community because we worked together. So I do want to acknowledge them and thank them for that. And it also was a great ride for the rest of us. And let me give you some other ideas of what we had to do to make this happen. We not only had to bring two districts together, we actually had to work with a high school, our whole school, Carter, and I do want to make sure I acknowledge them because their staff and their students worked very hard to make this event very successful. And when you have all these people working together and we wanted to make sure we serve the community, we encountered some challenges. And those challenges are what I call problems that are positive problems to have. And let me give you an example of some of them. We had an overwhelming response. We had thousands of students registered, and we had to figure out how to get them all through, and there were limits, but we figured it out. We had to accommodate demands from the community beyond Rialto and Fontana. People wanted to come. We had to make sure that we had ourselves organized in a way that we could actually get these students through. So please make sure that you congratulate everyone tonight because they worked very hard. Now here are some of the results of our efforts. We had 27% of the HBCs represented. There are many more out there. So hopefully next year we'll have more there. But over 96 students that we've been able to identify so far have been accepted to colleges and universities as a result of this event. Over 96. The numbers are still coming in and we're still getting reports from UCAN, so I will make sure that Mr. Islam has that information to provide for you in the future. And so far we've counted over $1.6 million in full and partial scholarships being awarded to Rialto students. Wow. And you don't get to go to college without applying for it, and you have to pay for those applications. Well, because of the college fair, our students' application fees were waived. They've saved us approximately $4,700 in application fees that our students would have to pay to apply to go to these colleges, and they actually waived it because of the fair. And lastly, I wanted to make sure you understand that we still have some work to do. We have follow-up. We have to find these students and work with their families to help them actually take advantage of the opportunity. And in doing that, I feel that this district is going to see great results in our efforts to increase the college-going rate of students if we continue to do fairs of this nature, because we weren't expecting this. And Mrs. Gilbert can tell you we were so excited. We were taking pictures of the students, and Mr. Islam was so excited. We know we want to do this again, and we're looking forward to it next year. And just to make sure you know that next year we're planning to do it the opposite. We'll go to Fontana and they'll come to us. And we have a parent night that we'll be doing as well. So at this time, I do want to bring in some of the students who are able to attend tonight, if the board would
Yes.
allow me. Thank you.
Yes.
Let's give them all a round of applause. And ladies and gentlemen, these students still have a problem to solve. They have choices now, and they can only accept one. So they are ready to go. Thank you so much, students, for coming. And would you please? And these students are from all three of our high schools. Thank you.
Mrs. Azar, would you, since I mentioned Vanessa Ramirez, who won the full ride to Benedict College, $68,000. Where is she? Is she here?
She wasn't
She's
able
not
to make it
here.
tonight, but we do have some other students who received full rides. Go ahead and raise your hand. And would you please? And students, would you please state your names, your high schools, and the college?
Yeah, one at a time if you can go.
My name is Eric Avalos from Carter High School. I got $68,000 for all my 4 years at Benedict College.
My name is Alondra, and I got $68,000 to Benedict College. Oh, I'm from Carter.
My name's Isabel Mora. I'm from Carter High School. I got $68,000 for Benedict.
My name is Star Thomas. I'm from Carter High School, and I got $68,000 from Benedict.
My name is Aaliyah Blackman. I'm from Carter High School, and I got 3 different scholarships to Dillard University, Allen, and Tuskegee.
My name is Derek Prince, and I got accepted to Paul Quinn College with an 8,500 scholarship, and I got accepted into Talladega College.
My name is Dejan McFoy from Carter High School, and I got accepted to Langston University, and I got accepted to Benedict, and Langston gave me $3,500 every year, partial scholarship.
My name is Anna Govea, and I'm from Rialto High School, and I got $68,000 to Benedict College. My name is Kimberly Romero, and I'm from Rialto High School, and I got $58,000 to Benedict College.
My name is Stephanie Alvarez from Rialto High School, and I got $68,000 to Benedict.
My name is Lizette Nunez. I'm from Eisenhower, and I got $7,500 for Benedict.
My name is Desiree Cordero, and I got $17,500 for Benedict. And it was my hard. Also 4 years. My name is is Brenda Armenta. I'm from Eisenhower, and I got 13,000 from Benedict.
My name is Jaitlin from Eisenhower High School, and I got a full ride to Tuskegee University.
My name is Maria Aguilar, and I got a scholarship to Lansington University.
Thank you.
Congratulations, students, and thank you for being here tonight.
I would just like to add that they're not going to be lonely when they go away to college because they all know each other. That's great.
And I would just like to point out that these scholarships weren't just handed out. These students came prepared with their SAT scores and their transcripts to show that they were worthy of receiving these scholarships. Did I leave out anything, Mrs.?
No, I do want to share one thing. Mr. Islam spoke to the staff, and he said that if we can help one student, it's worth it. And I just want to confirm we've exceeded his expectations.
Right.
We've helped many students, and thank you so much for supporting this event.
Thank you. Thank you.
May I?
Yes,
Board,
Mr.
I want to acknowledge Veronica did an awesome job, tireless from the day I said we are going to do this, unreasonable timeline. I thank her. She put together. I appreciate everybody's engagement. We can't do alone, and I call this is a great event for Rialto, and we're going to continue this. I thank you, board, your support, and this is what we're here for to help our kids. So I'm very proud of our staff. Did an awesome job, and everyone engaged in this event. And thank you all.
Thank you. Next, we will go to Middle School Student Advisory Committee, DSAC presentations, and our student board member will be in charge of that.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Our first speaker is Isaiah Hawley from Cusera Middle School.
Good evening, board members, viewers, and the interim superintendent, Mr. Islam. My name is Isaiah Hawley, and I am the ASB president of Cusera Middle School. We have started a before and after school tutoring program that was made to help students through academic success. Along with this, Family Math Night was scheduled to involve parents with their child's prosperity in math. The first Family Math meeting will be on October 22nd, 2014. I am also happy to announce that Cusera's PTA fundraiser was a huge success. This week, College Club is hosting Avid Family Night, which will provide information on Avid's mission and program. They will be providing refreshments and ask that you please bring a dessert to share with your peers. ASB will be hosting a fall carnival on October 23rd, 2014. There will be fun games, food, and various activities, such as rock climbing wall and a soccer game. Each ticket will be $1, and these are needed for most of the attractions. Our school has been hosting Breakfast of Champions that are for students who portray certain character traits. August's character trait was respect, while citizenship is September's character trait. Last but certainly not least is our sports department. So far we have formed a volleyball team and will soon have trials for cheer and football. I am sure that they will be as successful as last year's team. On behalf of Cusera Middle School student body, thank you for your support, and we look forward to a great school year.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Nirvana Moreno from Jehu Middle School.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Interim Superintendent Mr. Islam, and viewing audience. My name is Nirvana Moreno, proudly serving as the ASB President at Jehu Middle School, home of the Jaguars. I would like to inform you of some of our upcoming events. Lights, camera, action. Jehu's first pep rally will be this coming Friday, September 26, 2014. Get ready to get fired up for our football and volleyball teams. Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. Come have a real scare at our Halloween dance, which will be held on October 30th from 3 to 5 p.m. Also, make sure to check out our fantastic Halloween door decorating contest. We are selling school spirit t-shirts to create a true spirit on campus. They are $8 and a wonderful addition to anybody's wardrobe. Finally, JQ is gearing up for a 4P on the Red Ribbon Week contest. There are rumors of dance party and a flash mob, but around here nobody knows what JQ's up what's up JQ's sleeve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our next speakers are Tina Louise and Jenna Patton from Colt Middle School.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education and Intern Superintendent Mr. Islam, and viewing audience. I am Tina Louise, captain of Colt Middle School's JROTC. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Colt Middle School wants to invite you all to the Magical World of Disney Dance on October 23rd after school. Also, coming up, we are sending our ASB students to Poly Mountain Camp on October 24th through the 26th. October 27th to the 31st is Red Ribbon Week. It takes grit to be and stay drug-free. We also want to give a big thanks to our Builders Club for collecting over 600 items for the Loma Linda Ronald McDonald House Toiletry Collection. Whoop whoop! Our Gamers Club also started their gaming away. They had just had their first Injustice tournament. Finally, football has started. Go Cougars! This is Tino signing off. Thank you for listening. Good night, Rialto.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Annalisa Valenzuela from Rialto Middle School.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Mr. Islam, and our viewing audience. My name is Annalisa Valenzuela, and I am the proud ASB President at Rialto Middle School. I am very excited to be here and share with you all that is happening with the Tigers. Can you believe that the second month of school is almost over? Yeah, I can't either. First off, it was a pleasure meeting Mr. Islam, Ms. Joffrey, and my fellow student leaders earlier this month at our first DSAC meeting. I look forward to learning and working with them all during this year. Our first dance was a 6th grade only dance, and it was a blast. Our newcomers became very acquainted with their new school and new peers. This was followed by our school-wide dance, which over 200 students came and danced the afternoon away. Our back-to-school night was highly attended by our parents, and our teachers presented the new changes in our curriculum with the Common Core Math, Language Arts, and the Next Generation Science Standards. This could prove to be a fantastic year. Our Builders Club assisted the East Rialto Kiwanis Club and the Morning Lions Club with the survivors and volunteer breakfast at the annual Relay for Life last month. It was great to see our school get involved. Our Robotics Club, along with Kolb's Robotics, are busy working on their first year's LEGO League Challenge and are proud to host the first FLL Rialto qualifying tournament on November 8th. We hope to have teams from all of our middle schools competing against other schools in the region. The top 20% of the teams from this qualifier will be invited to attend Legoland for the regional competitions. Our National Junior Honor Society just wrapped up their Pop Tops for the Ronald McDonald House Drive with over 82,000 tops collected. October only brings more excitement. Our football and volleyball teams will be in district-wide competitions. Our cheer team will be keeping the excitement up yet again. We will kick off our Red Ribbon Week events with an anti-bully assembly on September 29th. Global Dignity Day lunchtime activities on October 10th, a week-long celebration of Red Ribbon Week from October 20th to 24th, and hopefully a successful school-wide decoration contest winner from the current reigning champions at JQ Middle School. Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Next month, I will fill you in with all of the happenings as we begin to plan our October dance, Fall Carnival, Family Night, and more. Thank you for your time.
Are there any students that I might have missed? No? Okay, well then that will conclude the middle school's DSAC presentation.
Thank you, Marisol. Thank you very much. Next, we're on number 3 on our agenda, and we will have a presentation from the Dolinka Group, LLC, and they will explain measure why the town stakeholders' meeting that were held in the community in the last 2 weeks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, district staff, community members. Thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Ann Fang-Gagney, and with me is Cornell Katrina. Once again, we're from the Delinka Group. We're the district's financial advisors. And so what we want to do today is we wanted to bring everyone up to speed and present the results from the community outreach efforts that the district undertook for Measure Y, the Measure Y that was approved by voters back in 2010. So just as a quick refresher, in 2010, voters in Rialto approved by 69% to issue $98 million of bonds. Now, keep in mind the approval rate is actually 55%, so you received overwhelming support for this GEO bond. The district has so far issued 2 series of bonds, and there is a little over $61 million left to be issued. And so when we came to the board previously, we presented a couple of different options to move forward with issuing the remaining bonds from Measure Y. And what the district wanted to do was to reach out to the community and share with them all the projects that have been completed to date and also the projects that are yet to be completed. And so tonight we want to share with you some of those findings. So as a recap, we presented to the board in August some of the options that are available to issue the Series C bonds for Measure Y. At that time, the board directed us to communicate to the public some of the achievements that have been made so far with the Measure Y taxpayer funds, and then also to relate the future projects. So we went ahead and attended hosted three community meetings. The first one happened on August 14th with the Bond Oversight Committee. And then there was 2 other stakeholder town hall meetings that occurred in the last couple of weeks on September 11th and September 16th. And tonight, obviously on the 24th, we're here to present some of the results that came from and the feedback that came from those meetings. First off, though, before I begin, I want to share with you a couple of the slides that we also shared with the public and refresh everyone's memory on the 2 different options that are available to them in issuing some of the bond monies that are available through Measure Y. Really, there's the option is either issuing today in 2014 with a potential tax increase or with an estimated tax increase, or waiting to issue until 2025 with no tax increase. So what we call these are scenario A and B. So on this slide you'll see in scenario A, the first option that's available is issuing $35.2 million today, and the net present value, or all the available dollars, will be available to the district for funding projects. Interest rates are at a historical low right now, so in borrowing the money, it will be very low interest for the district to borrow, so roughly around 3%. So that's what we call the debt service to par ratio. So for every dollar that is borrowed, the district will have to pay $1.16 back. The average tax increase over the next 12 years for the homeowners per $100,000 of assessed value is $41.68. And the total debt service that will be paid, so interest and principal that will be paid through year 2027, that's when these next series of bonds will retire, is $40.9 million. If the board elects to move forward with this scenario A, we will come back to the board on October 22nd with the legal documents to be approved to go ahead and issue these bonds, and they would be issued in December of 2014. So the $35.2 million will be available in December to fund projects. In scenario B, the issuance year is 2025, and the biggest difference is that there will be no tax increase. So currently taxpayers are paying roughly $70 per $100,000 of assessed value. Once again, the amount roughly will be about $35.4 million in this year, in this case. However, the biggest difference, though, is that the net present value, or today's value of that money, is $21.8 million. So if the district decided to wait to issue the bonds, the value of the money or the projects that can be funded will be far less. It will also be a lot more expensive to borrow. One of the reasons is because interest rates are unpredictable. Most likely they will rise. by the time we reach 2025. And so the debt service to par ratio, meaning the amount to borrow, is 3.16. So for every dollar borrowed, the district and the taxpayers will have to pay $3.16. The total debt service to be paid over this scenario B would be $110 million, and it will be paid back through 2049. So while there's no tax increase in scenario B, it will be more expensive, and it will last a longer duration. So instead of paying it all back in 2027, it will be 2049. Okay, so those are the two main scenarios that we shared with taxpayers and to solicit feedback from them. Another slide that we shared with them was the projects completed to date. So the projects completed to date total about $34.7 million. The district has been hard at work with the monies that have been issued by Measure Y. Anytime you see a footnote with number 1 next to the project, it means that it was blended funding. So the school did utilize some state funding and some other sources of funding that was available to them to also pay for that project. As far as projects under construction, there are 2 projects currently under construction at Kucera and Kelly. And these are 2-story classroom additions. So these are already underway, but in order to complete these projects, they will need additional funding from Measure Y. So lastly, what we shared with the community was, what are the future project needs? What kind of projects will be funded with the next series of bonds from the $98 million of Measure Y? So on this slide, you'll see a listing of projects that total about $56 or $57 million. And if the district went ahead and chose scenario A, which is issuing in 2014, they would roughly be able to fund the first 7 items on this list, which includes finishing up the 2-story classrooms at Kelly and Kucera, completing a variety of projects at Eisenhower, and also what's probably most exciting is upgrading the technology across many of the school sites in Rialto. If they went with scenario B, far fewer projects will probably be funded because the value today of the money that will be issued in 2025 is far less. So that same list, the district will probably only be able to fund the first 5 items on this list. Okay? So that brings you up to speed on what was shared with the community as well as the Bond Oversight Committee. So what were our results? What came from these meetings? Well, the first one was the August 14th meeting with the Bond Oversight Committee. So for those of you who don't know, with every bond measure that's approved, a group of citizens oversee the bonds, the spending of the bonds, and that's made up of the Bond Oversight Committee. And so in this particular meeting, there was 5 members present from the public, as well as 2 members were absent and 1 guest. The feedback was unanimous support to go ahead and move forward with a 2014 Series C for roughly an estimated $35 million. Okay, so that was the results from the Oversight Committee. Now, in order to increase attendance to the 2 town hall meetings, I have to commend both Saida and Ricardo on their communication efforts. A huge effort was undertaken to reach out to parents, community, as well as district staff to attend these meetings. So first of all, there was an automated phone message that was called to all the parents on September 2nd that reached over 42,000 people. It was also, the town hall meetings were published in 4 different newspapers: Rialto Record, Inland Empire, Weekly, The Sun, as well as RUSD Bulletin. It was published twice, actually, in both Rialto Record and Inland Empire. The district also utilized social networks, so they had 2 Twitter posts that reached over 1,000 Twitter users across San Bernardino County. And they also sent out an email to all district staff, and on this email list there's about 2,500 emails that are on that listserv. Lastly, on the front page, if you clicked on the front page of Rialto Unified, you would see right on the front screen a invitation to attend these town hall meetings, as well as a flyer that was posted that provided more detail on the town hall and Measure Y. So this is just a clipping of the newspapers and what was published so that the community can learn about Measure Y as well as attend the town hall meetings. This was the Twitter feeds, and as well as below the image is the email that was sent out to the district employees. And lastly, this is a snapshot of what you would see on the website. On the left is a screenshot of the district homepage, and on the right is the district flyer that was provided to show some general facts about Measure Y. So as far as the feedback, while we did reach thousands and thousands of people, we had to link a group do a fair amount of these town hall meetings, and we roughly always get about 10 to 30. That's kind of the average that we see. People are busy, and you know, it's not abnormal to get less than 50 people. And so the number of attendees that attended the September 11th meeting was 40, and the number of attendees that showed up at the September 16th meeting was 30 people. We received 2 comment cards from September 11th and 0 comment cards from September 16th. I would say in summary, the feedback that we received, and there was a lot of dialogue with the community members that we welcomed, was they would like more accountability, transparency, and a communication on Measure Y funds. If the district chose to move forward with issuing bonds today, they want to see more communication back out on what projects are being funded, when they'll be completed, as well as just more frequent meetings that would be held by the Oversight Committee and more participation at the Oversight Committee level. In the first meeting, there were some comments about wanting more projects being funded at Eisenhower. And then in the second meeting, there were some more questions about the bond calculation in itself. But overall, positive feedback on issuing Series C bonds today. There was 0 comments on not issuing Series C bonds today. Almost all the conversation revolved around just having more communication about how your Measure Y funds are being spent. Okay? And so that concludes some of the summary of the community outreach. I would like to stress that there's been no decision, obviously, that has been made. Right now it is at the board's decision, as well as the district, on whether or not they want to move forward with option A, issuing today, or option B, delaying and issuing at a later time. Are there any questions?
Yes. Measure Y is very near and dear to my heart. So is Eisenhower High School. And when these bonds were issued, Eisenhower was to be the primary recipient of this money. And money has been spent on other things. But every time, for years and years and years, that there has been money set aside to improve conditions at Eisenhower, it somehow disappears into other projects. Eisenhower kids deserve everything that the kids at Carter and the kids at Rialto High have. And they do not have a performing arts building. Do you know how hard it is to try to put on a play at another school? You virtually cannot do it. You can't do your set and transporting the kids all over the place because we don't have our own facility. So my main point in saying all this is somehow, some way, we've got to work that performing arts building in for Eisenhower, along with the other things for Eisenhower. It's critical. That's the district's flagship school, and it's in the worst condition. Yes.
And could you make it clear to the community and all the stakeholders, this is not required to go back to the ballot because November elections is upcoming. People may be confused that this require the border going back to the ballot. That's not the case. You may want to clear
absolutely. As I mentioned in the beginning, Measure Y was already approved by the voters in 2010. And so there's $61 million left to be spent. The district really undertook this effort just to be able to reach out to the community to provide open dialogue and open communication. They absolutely have the option of issuing these next series of bonds, but before they did that, they really wanted to have input from the community on what projects should be funded, as well as just feedback on Measure Y in itself. So, but there is no need for another voter approval because the voters have already approved Measure Y.
Thank you.
I just would like to make a comment. You're correct. The voters are already approved. So in essence, the district would not. Can we get this turned off, please? So in essence, the district technically does not need any permission to issue more bonds and even increase the rate that would be paid for. The problem is that I've heard from people in the community, some of which attended some of the town hall meetings, is that when the district hired a company to help survey the community for the bond, then later hired the same company to campaign for the district for the bond, then later hired the same company to help oversee and facilitate the contracts for the bond, and part of which was a concern to me as a conflict of interest, first and foremost, and then later confirmed through the FIGMAT audits. But the part where the firm helped the district campaign for the bond, this district went out to the community, knocked on doors, gave out literature that was put together by the company, and told the voters, your rates are not going to be increased. You're going to continue paying the same amount from previous bonds that were approved years back. Well, in many ways, the voters were deceived because the actual language on the ballot that was approved by the voters said otherwise. So, in and of itself, many people felt deceived from the beginning, and the fact that we have some issues currently trying to work back to regain a lot of the trust has been lost over the recent years here in our district. It only seems it might seem a little unfair to some people for us to increase the rates, even though we can. When we were saying during the campaign to approve the bond that we weren't going to do so. So it's a tough situation. I completely understand everyone's points of view on this issue. Of course, our schools need upgrades and need work. But at the same time, I think we owe it to the community to first regain the trust. And not just go out and have town hall meetings and get their feedback and let the community know, are you okay with this? But perhaps this is something we should first. My interest, my bigger interest is in finding out exactly how the $37 million already used for the Measure Y, exactly how every penny was spent and what it was spent on. Now, the FIGMAT audits did not look at Measure Y in particular. They just happened to look at some other contracts, some of which were for some of the Measure Y work, but it was not for Measure Y itself. And I'm not saying we need another audit specifically just for Measure Y. What I'm saying is we need to get a good, clear picture of exactly how the $37 million of the Measure Y was already spent, how it was spent, where every penny went to. That way, we at least get a very good idea of how we want to move forward on the other $61 million that are left. The last thing we want to do is waste any of those precious Measure Y tax dollars. So I've kind of been, just waiting to get more information about this entire issue. But the more I hear Nancy raise questions, the more I hear, I get feedback from the community, the more myself I become interested in really finding out first what we did with those 30. Not just, I know you showed us what we've already spent it on, but did we really use those $37 million wisely and effectively? Did we get the best bang for our buck is what I'm concerned with. Before we consider issuing more bonds, let's let the community know that if we made any mistakes or if we didn't, great. But if we made any mistakes, let's make sure we don't do them again second time around.
I have a question about the Oversight Committee. I know it's been a standing committee for the length of the time that we've had the bonds. Is there room for changes maybe in the Oversight Committee, the people who are there to oversight the money and see how it's spent? Is there maybe a reason for us to maybe look at that committee and see if they're doing their due diligence?
Under Proposition 39, the members who appointed to serve as the oversight committee can serve only 2 years, and on request, we can be extended another 2 years. That's a term. As of now, we need 5 new members. Those are currently serving. They don't want to serve extended anymore. We're looking for appointing the member. And there's a different category under Proposition 39. It cannot be just one category. So there's a requirement. We have to comply with that, the requirement of the selections of the who can serve in the oversight committee. It's not only community member, they have to the business community, taxpayers. There's a different category. So in response to Ms. Gilbert, what you asked me, answer yes. So we need, not what we're looking for, we need replacing those currently serving the committee. They are not going to serve after December.
How many members are on that committee?
If I remember correctly, it is currently we have 7 members.
Looks like it was 7.
And majority of them are an extended term. And we are having a challenge to find someone willing to serve on the committee, and we've been looking aggressively.
So have we given the opportunity for other people to be on that committee? Maybe we need to.
Yes, we are.
How do you do that? How do you select your committee?
I will say I believe that some people who attended the town hall meetings expressed interest.
And we approach them and we want them served to the committee. Those perhaps like to volunteer their time. These are honorary service, and we are seeking moving into like chambers and going other community event, looking for perhaps people willing to come serve in this committee. So yes, we are aggressively looking for, because without the oversight committee, we can't conduct see through how money being spent, other than we can report to individuals who are on request. So under the Proposition 39, this is the bond approved by under Proposition 39, which is requiring 55% approval. So we're required by law to follow that guideline. It's not an option. So we have to comply. So my take on it, I'm aggressively looking. I have engaged with my communication director. She's also talking to the people, different community event, Rotary, Lion Clubs, other community event that we could perhaps find people can serve in this committee.
I think I read at some point they are supposed to change either annually or every 2 years.
Every 2 years, the term end of December.
Okay.
So it's coming. It's approaching. December is approaching ahead of us. So we're looking for, if you know someone interested, please.
I think that should be a priority as when we go along with approving
the recommendations.
The recommendations that we have a oversight committee revision or addition to the people who are on there, and making sure that those who are on it now want to continue serving.
I'd like to present a report to you in writing who are the members currently serving and when their term's going to expire in the end of December 31st.
Well, most of them have been on this boards.
Some of them are prominent community members. We want to make sure you thank them, for their service.
We are, Mr. Monte, we will, but they're still serving through the end of their term, December 31st. But the point I'm making, we approach them, they're willing to extend it. We send them an email. Their response, no. So that put
They've
us in
already
a,
been extended.
They have been
They've
extended, and legally you can request if they would like to continue to serve, you can extend it again. It's like a 2 years term. So since the response we received, they are not willing to serve anymore. It put us in a position we have to find people from the community. So I'm asking you as respectful as a board member, if you know somebody, please give me the name. I will contact them and invite them and give them the proper documentations and the process.
I think related to what Edgar was saying, is it possible, and I know it's possible, to run a Measure Y budget kind of report and separate it into areas so it's halfway understandable to read, like labor, materials, infrastructure, consultants. I mean, there has been a lot of concern of money that may have been misspent, and that, I think, is what Edgar's trying to make sure we prevent next time.
Well, it is possible, and it's on our record. We need to go back and present that report to you and board. I want to do that to be crystal clear. But one thing I will be crystal clear: if there's a mistakes happen, you overpaid a consultant. Can we go back and recoup that money?
That it's just something I think we all need to know.
But we all have to learn from our mistake. As Mr. Manja says, make sure that mistakes doesn't happen again, and that I can assure you that's not going to happen again. But the fact of the matter, you as a board and the community has every right to know where the money is spent, and you are asking me itemize, categorize, detail, and I would love to do that. I will present to you at the next board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Thank you, Ms. Gagnon.
Good job.
Mr. Martinez.
I do have some questions that it's actually for the public. When you mention on page 3, blended funds, is that the same as matching funds from the government?
Yes.
Okay.
So I believe, and your district staff helped us on this, some of it was state funding, some of it I believe was developer fee funding. It's just a variety of funding sources that were used to pay for that particular project. So we didn't want to say matching state funds because some of them had other sources of funds that also paid for it.
May I add, Mr. Martinez, please? We, as you know, we're being public school, we're supposed to be funded by the state. Any school constructions, school-related project, state are going through a bond, state bond, to support that local school districts, and they can produce enough money to the bond to. So as a result, we as a community, as a local school district, we're looking for general obligation bond, which is like a local money. We're generating, helping our schools to improve the condition of the school. The speed that we're getting funding, our school conditions cannot maintain. Right. So many projects we could build due to the fact that we get some project funded, 50% funded by the state, and we match other 50% from our local money, which is called general obligation bond, and other source of money we have, developer fees and others. So the local bond money is the last source of the money you have for a special purpose, and we try to we are very careful how that money should be used and where it should be used. That's the way how I operated, But to the matter, yes, is this being effectively used every dollar for the purpose? That you need to see through that where the money is spent and how it's spent. And I will present a report. And as you heard, the present value of the money, what we can do today, 5 years from now, we can use the same amount of money to do the same project. So back to Mr. Martinez, or what you're concerned, or what you're asking, all this project you see on the schedules, which you have, is not 100% Measure Y money. There is a matching. We did not took bond money to build a project. We look for state money first, see then bring the bond money to match.
Matching funds.
Yes.
Matching state
And
funds.
at present time, Cali and Casera Middle School, we're doing the same thing.
Right.
It's not the project need a certain amount, we only get 50%. Other 50% we're trying to match from our local money.
Another thing we will also want to make
May I
sure we
finish?
do.
President Gilbert, may I finish? I
Go
was
ahead.
interrupted.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. To my understanding, the reason that Eisenhower was not worked on was, the main reason was Edison did not have enough power to give us. So when we went through the state architect, which takes years, many times. We also tried to gear up for Edison. We needed a new transformer. So that took a period of time, and then I don't know, I'm guessing 2 months to 6 months is the average on an Edison transformer, to my understanding. So between that, then to find out, Edison, even if the transformer went in that very day, Edison did not have the capacity locally to give us the electricity to run the school improvements. So that would be 2 years. We're coming up on that now. You put that along with the matching funds that were available for other items, and that, to my understanding, is why we took other projects first. One thing that one of my colleagues here on the board brought up is that, and Assembly Member Brown would be able to help us with this. I believe it was AB 189? 182. Basically is the cause of we could not extend things, and that's why the taxes property taxes would go up. That being the case, I heard a great idea. How about grandfathering those who had it by a certain date? And I'll give you the date if you ask. Now, the one question that bothers me, if we wait for reports and this and that, we've got a date of 2014. What happens, how long can we delay without us having to go all the way out to 2025? I mean, how long can we drag our feet before we say, let's move on Series C bonds?
So with every year that you delay, the amount that you can issue is less, because the thing is, the 2014 scenario A has a very short repayment time frame, so it goes out to 2027. The main reason is because in 2027, your Series A and Series B start being repaid. So the taxes go up to the $60. So for every year that you delay, you can only amortize the interest and principal payments through 2027. So if you wait till 2015 or 2016, you can only borrow then 10 years, 11 years. So then you're going to be able to borrow less if you wait. That's why you have to wait until 2025 to have no tax increase.
Okay.
Just a quick comment before I forget. Also regarding the matching state funds, there's a certain protocol, am I correct, that needs to be followed in order to qualify and be granted matching state funds. It was also discovered in the FIGMAT audit that was not the case on all of the projects that could have possibly been qualified for matching state funds. And the reasoning, the excuse I got was, that I heard was, well, we needed specialized services, which in order to do without going out for bid, because if you don't go out for bid, then you can't qualify for matching state funds. Well, we don't want to go out for bid because we need we need a certain caliber of consulting or services. And that did a great damage to really weaken the amount of money we could have gotten from matching state funds. We need to make sure that we apply for matching state funds and we go through the process of vetting going out for bidding on all of the projects, and not cut any corners, and not give any special attention to any particular service providers. We need to be fair and make sure that we match for as much as state matching funds as possible. I mean, the more matching state funds the district receives, that's the less that has to be used up out of Measure Y.
Can I clarify on that? You do have a project already on this list that has matching state funds, the JHU. Outside of that, you have the E-rate match for the technology projects, but besides that, it's going to be very hard to get state funding because there's no state funds to be had anymore. Governor Brown chose not to move forward with the 2014 ballot, statewide bond ballot. So really, as Mr. Islam said, school facilities right now are at the hands of the local schools to fund at 100%. So it's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, too bad we didn't take advantage of it when we had the chance. But
well, we can't worry about that now.
And
it's over.
Just for your information, board, some of the project recently get funded. Cali and Casera, the money coming from Measure D, like dog, is the 2010 statewide bond. Some districts probably didn't. It's leftover money. So we're lucky we applied for the state funding. That's our priority number. Should be first priority. Look for state money for any facility-related project. We get zero funded, unfunded approval of the project, meaning there's no money available at that time. We just get the approval, and I send you a copy of that information. I think a couple of weeks ago. That help us now start the project moving forward, and you have a certain timeline. You can hold that money too long. You have to build a project within the state defined timeline. It's not our timeline; it's their timeline. So you follow the state rules and guidelines. So when you're using the state money, when you're using local bond money, you build your own plan and timeline. So when we're sharing the matching fund for the project, we have to use our money before state release their money, because that's a requirement, and we have to start our project to meet their timeline. So if we wait, then you will not have the funding anymore because you lost that timeline to build the project. So there's a lot of risk factor when you are
a lot of unnecessary rules.
And Mr. Monti, you're absolutely correct. The goal of any school districts, and not Rialto, should be first priority explore state money, state available resource, or any other resource beyond state, before you touch your local money. And bond is our local bond. We can issue as we are eligible to issue further, and we don't explore that as an option. We look for, but you heard Ann stating that's true. We thought the next bond, November ballot, the governor is going to consider it as another statewide bond for facilities, and he chose not to do that. And so that's kind of when we get caught in that situation. So that means we will not be able to apply any funding, or there's no funding available for any project.
Not anymore.
Yes.
Now, we are receiving developer fees for the homes being built around Cordiac, right? Because my understanding is, even though that is Fontana, those kids are going to be attending Cordiac.
You're correct.
At the very least.
Anything within our...
We are getting developer fees.
Yes, anything within our city boundary, school district boundary, we collect those fees.
Okay.
Any project remodeling or business expansions, we are, by law, they have to pay us the developer fees.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Van Gagne. And we will move on to presentation number 4. Dr. Ed D'Souza.
Ms. Gilbert, I apologize. Now, with this report, with your board, we will bring the resolution to the board at the next agenda for your approval to proceed.
For which one?
For Measure Y Series C bond. As you know, it takes 60 to 90 days by the time you're looking for the investors who are willing to invest money into the bond. It's not that we can bring cash.
No.
but we are on the very timeline. So the longer we're going to wait, it could jeopardize our state deadline for our project currently under construction, and it could jeopardize that we may not get the state money because of this project not meeting the timeline.
So hopefully you can get all of our questions and concerns answered before we move forward.
I plan to do that. I will present to you
With,
by next board. What you ask me to do, you'll have that by next board meeting.
Before the board votes to approve it or not. And then I just wanted to say to the Delinka Group, thank you for all of your help. Our issues here with the Measure Ys has nothing to do with you guys, so we appreciate all the work you guys are trying to do to help us, with moving forward with it. So thank you.
Dr. D'Souza.
It's my pleasure tonight to have Rialto High School to come up to the podium. And just to give you a little background, if Mr. Ayala can come up, and Mr. Gonzalez and the two teachers from Rialto High. We hear the word STEM quite a bit. I'm sorry. We hear the word STEM quite a bit, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Our students have been participating in MESA. MESA actually is both a class which is held at our high schools, which carries G elective for UC and gets our kids interested in engineering, science, and math. So Eisenhower High School happily hosted the MESA Day for Riverside and San Bernardino counties this year, and Rialto High actually became MESA School of the Year. So here is Mr. Gonzalez from UCR to present the award.
Thank you, Dr. D'Souza, and esteemed board and the audience that is still here. And Dr. D'Souza is right. The Rialto High School and the Rialto Unified School District has enjoyed a great relationship with our program. And who I am, I'm Carlos Gonzalez, and I'm the director of this program at the College of Engineering at UC Riverside. And Dr. D'Souza is right, STEM is the big word. I was at a conference in San Diego this week, and a whole conference just for STEM. Second year they do it, thousands and thousands of teachers were there. Many, many programs were being highlighted and schools were being highlighted. And it really is an honor to today shine the spotlight on Rialto High School and what they've done with the MESA program. Because as much as STEM is a big buzzword now, and everyone's trying it, everyone's doing it, and so many iterations of what STEM is, science, technology, engineering, and math, Rialto High School for many years has been championing STEM with the students of this community. And ever since 2005 and even before, they've been making a tremendous difference using STEM as that agent for change. And not just to get kids excited about math and science and engineering, but to use it as a transformative tool to change kids' lives and to let them see that they can study careers in engineering, that they can go to college and do these things. And I've seen it. I've seen their students come to my office at the university and say, "Oh, hi, Mr. Gonzalez, how are you?" And "Oh, so-and-so teacher," and watching them succeed and watching them take that next step is just, it's a tremendous source of pride. So today Rialto is being recognized from our program. We work in both San Bernardino and Riverside County, so we represent a large group of students and teachers throughout this region. And Rialto High School distinguished themselves among all those schools and all those many, many students. And before I give this award to the principal and to the two teachers that are here representing the school, who are just really, the teachers are the heart of our program, so we could give them a round of applause for what they do, for the long hours they put in for the kids, for never saying no to a student that wants to finish their robot after school or whatever hour they're working on it or project. Before I do that, I actually brought something else for that I wanted to give to Dr. D'Souza, because he's been championing this before my time. Well, not before I was born, but before I was, well, perhaps even before then, actually. But before I came to MESA and the College of Engineering, and I just wanted to give a couple of gifts to him. So he doesn't forget us. It's a MESA bag here. He doesn't forget us, and I've been fandangled, and that's a formal term we use in engineering world, fandangled. A shirt for him as well that says Mesa on it in some form or fashion. And before all of you, because I want you to know that Dr. D'Souza is a champion for all good things in education, and especially in STEM and project-based learning and those things. So.
I do want to introduce the two teachers who worked tirelessly, Julian Ansomet from Rialto High School and Micah Thompson. Also, to give you a little bit of history, Rialto Unified was the district that wrote the course for Mesa that was first accepted for UCG elective. And the person who wrote the course, Moses Merlo, was one of our ex-students who's now in Fontana as a principal.
And just so you know, the contribution that Rialto's made, those courses have been adapted and changed and are being used by schools throughout the Bi-County area, and anchoring STEM academies in many, many schools. So that was a fantastic basis for a lot of the work that we're doing. So without further ado, I have a plaque here that I want to present to the principal and the teachers at Rialto High School, Mr. Anserman and Mr. Thompson. So. Yes.
If that's okay, Board of Education.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So the plaque says in.
Can you use the mic, sir?
Oh, sure.
Television.
Of course.
Thank you.
So just to read you what it says here on this plaque, it says the MESA program at the University of California and the Bourne College of Engineering awards the distinction of MESA High School of the Year to Rialto High School for running an outstanding, distinguished, and effective local program that best promotes and advances the goals and objectives of MESA, which is to work with our disadvantaged students to empower them through STEM to succeed in their lives. Amen. All right, so I almost said an amen. Look at that. I'm telling you, I've been behind the podium before.
How about you in the middle, sir, if that's okay? Thank you. Perfect. Miss Lyle, 1, 2, 3. Ed, you should give him. And I don't see Mr. D'Souza. Would you like to? Get over here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, Dr. D'Souza. Yes.
I know you can't hide in that.
Okay, we're live. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate your support and recognition. And I'm going to turn this over to our teachers, like you said, we are the heart of our community. So again, on behalf of Rialto High School and our school district, thank you for the recognition. And if our students succeed, we all succeed. So again, we appreciate the recognition. Thank you. Congratulations.
It's now my pleasure to introduce another STEM group that worked this summer tirelessly. And I know we're talking about different designs, so you're going to hear some outstanding things from our students who worked on a solar power project this summer. And I'll let Miss Peggy Wheeler come up and say a few words. We have science and math, and I know we teach our subjects separately, but you actually can see the power of integrating it and how kids use the science to learn the mathematics and the mathematics to learn the science.
So, good evening, Board of Education, Interim Superintendent Mr. Islam.
Excuse me, Peggy, let them.
Thank you.
No, let some of the students come on this side. They're all stuck over
They
there.
are going to be presenting, and we've got guests too, if they'll come in to the front. So, Board of Education, Interim Superintendent Mr. Islam, and viewing audience. My name is Peggy Wheeler. I'm Director of Alternative Education. Also present is my counterpart from Fontana Unified in Tracy Backer, Director of Career Technical Education. Tracy, right back here.
Welcome.
So it is my privilege to introduce the SunPower Solar Science Academy. This summer academy was dynamic and made a significant impact on the high school students that participated. It was brought to Dr. D'Souza's and Tracer Vacker's attention through the County Alliance for Education office. SunPower Solar Academy was a unique collaboration between the county office, Rialto Unified, Fontana Unified, Chaffey College, SunPower Solar Company, and Vitalink. 19 students from Rialto and Fontana participated in the summer week-long academy through project-based learning activities and 21st century skill development. The academy was an incredible opportunity for our high school students to apply academic skills to real-world learning. The academy emphasized industry-specific work readiness skills, hands-on activities using practical applications such as SketchUp CAD, PowerPoint, and Google Earth. It engaged our students to work on case studies involving application of math, science, and problem-solving skills. Students worked in teams to prepare and present solar business proposals to industry professionals and more. In the audience are wonderful, we have wonderful and amazing instructors in this too. John Rowe, who teaches mathematics from Fontana Unified. John. And our own Denise Miller, who teaches construction and CAD from Carter High School in Rialto. Now, these teachers dedicated 3 weeks of their summer vacation to train and facilitate this summer academy. And we have a pretty short window for vacation, so that was just amazing for them to dedicate their time. Also present, who actually flew in for this presentation, is Bobby Ram, who's the managing director of SunPower Solar Company, who funded this academy, along with Mary Tran of Vitalink and Lindsay Rothchuk, who organized the teachers' trainings and the academy schedule.
Stand up.
So the amazing thing about SunPower is they are investing in students throughout California by providing these amazing summer solar academies. This was the first time it was ever offered in the Inland Empire, the first time Rialto and Fontana had an opportunity to participate. In addition to the generous monetary commitment that SunPower collaborated with our school districts, they also partner with Career Technical Pathways, Linked Learning Academies, and the Career Pathway Trust Grant. They really give back to the communities, and they're giving to our students. But I have saved the best for last. The winning team, our students who are from Rialto and Unified, and they're going to be introducing themselves as well as presenting their culminating presentation from this summer. So I'm really excited to have them introduce themselves and get started.
Hi, good evening. How are you guys doing? Good.
Great.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So basically, we went to an academy where they just opened our eyes to the impact that we're having on. Okay, there we go.
Oh.
All right. So, as I was saying, in the academy, our eyes were open to the impact that we're having on the environment and the negative impact we are and how we can fix it. And we were tasked with creating our own company, so we decided on Solar Saviors as a name, and our motto was to soak in the savings, and I was the financer of the project. Our team members were myself, Elias Padilla from Eisenhower High School, Sarah Felix from Carter High School, Naomi Mondragon from Kaiser High School, Roberto Ventura from Carter High School, and Kelly Rowe from Kaiser High School.
Hi, I'm Sarah Felix again from Carter High School, and as site surveyor, we had to find out more information on solar energy. So as you can see in the diagram, we found out that sunlight shines onto the solar panels, and that creates DC, which is direct current, and then that is then transferred into the inverter, and that converts DC to AC, which is alternating current, and that is usable energy that anything electronic can use. And if the solar panels create more energy than needed, it can be sent back into the grid, which is the power lines.
Right, so why choose solar? First of all, I've asked you to reduce your electrical bill because you're going to be making your own energy. You're not going to be having to pay the rates that Edison would be charging you out for and their high tiers later on in the day that I'm sure you guys know about. You guys see your bills, right? And And the energy sustainable, the energy sustainable and exhaustible. What's more certain than the sun rising and setting every day, and that's what our technology runs on, is energy. I mean, it's solar energy. So, and there's no harmful byproducts as opposed to cars with their carbon emissions. Our carbon footprint that we're leaving, that's all getting bigger. So this will help us offset a lot of that. Also, we have to change the way we interact with our environment. We aren't doing too many helpful things in the environment right now. We're releasing poisonous gases, global warming. You guys have all heard it, so we need to start changing the way we interact. We need to start making a green movement, if you will, for the future, right? For us, especially as we're the new generation. And there's future vast market growth, because things can only get worse before they get better. So we're gonna have to start investing in our time and money into these kind of programs.
At the academy, we had a client named Lady Gaga. We wanted to teach her how to save energy and reduce the amount of fossil fuels she was burning. First, we assessed her home by measuring the roof using Google Earth and a 3D modeling software named SketchUp. This helped us achieve the perfect system that is accustomed to her lifestyle.
Hi, I'm Roberto. I was the construction manager of this project, and we had a system size of 6.5 kilowatts, which is 20 panels running at 327 watts, which is equal to 6.5 kilowatts, pretty much. The entire cost of the system was a bit under $28,000, but you do have tax credit, which reduced it by a little bit below $8,500. So the final cost of the system would be a bit under $19,500, and also you get a net savings worth of a bit over $2,500, also with a net offset of 80% kilowatt hour.
So more site information, we saw that her annual kilowatt hour usage was just under 14,000, and the average cost per kilowatt hour was 24 cents. And then with solar, her avoided cost would be 31 cents. And based on that information, we decided to go with the equipment module SPR 327.
Now for the things that were pretty much essential to see how solar would work. The intensity, there was no shade. No shades provided by trees, power lines, anything that would lead to insufficient power, pretty much. And also the south orientation of the roof is pretty much the best, since it gets sun throughout all hours out of the day, and also peak hours where you're being charged the most. Also the tilt angle was important at 23 degrees, and the roof area at 756.28 feet.
So, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. In order to get the maximum amount of sunlight for your solar panels, we put the solar panels on the south side of the roof. And we also place them 2 feet from the size of the roof because of California standards. We determined the power rating of our system by the daily energy divided by the number of peak sun hours and came out to about 6.9 kilowatts.
Now this slide describes the system decisions in regards to the Lady Gaga house. Her power rating system was 6,500 watts, but keep in mind that only 327 watts can be obtained by each module. Therefore, 20 modules are needed to provide sufficient power for the client. However, keep in mind also that only 600 volts can be obtained per string, and therefore the 20 modules were arranged in 2 strings of 10 panels. The inverter that we used was the SPR 7000.
So financing. How are we going to pay for a system like this? And this is small scale still. We're not even going to the whole district yet. The system price is about $28,000. It's at about $28,000 with your tax credits. It's going to lower it by $8,000, bringing your total cost to around $19,500. The annual energy usage she had was about 13,785 kilowatt hours, which comes out she was paying about $3,308 a year. Her annual savings would be, her offset would be at 80%, so her annual savings would be at $2,520 per year. So how are you going to pay for this? Well, there's two ways. There are people with tax appetite. There's two categories: people with tax appetite and people without. People with tax appetite are people who are in the workforce, getting paid a salary, and are paying into the tax pot that goes back towards us. And people without tax appetite are people who are retired, are on pension, they have a fixed income. So people with tax appetite, you could pay cold hard cash, up front, and the system's yours. You maintain it alone. You take cash out against it at a certain rate, and you pay it that way. And then for without tax appetite, there's a lease, which is the model. The system is in your home, but it doesn't belong to you, and the maintenance isn't left up to you. So that's a plus. And your return on investment is at about 10.4%, which means that you'd be making your money back in pure profit after 9.6 years, which is a really good return on investment. You guys be making purely profit after that.
Now this slide is directly for the possible school district solar project. For about 10 to 15 schools in the district, the system size is 5 million watts. Now the board may have the question of how they can financially be able to do this, and the answer to this is by using the Qualified Zone Academy bonds, which both benefits the district and schools because 10% of the solar project value goes towards new academies in schools, such as STEM programs. The types of systems that can be built are carports and shade structures, which also benefit students and staff members who drive to school every day. The expected savings for the district is 25 million over 25 years, which means that the district will be saving 1 million every year, and the energy offset is 80%.
Now, I want to bring to your attention before I get into the slide that there's been problems with the power and there's been problems with funding, and we think that this could be a solution to maybe some of that. You could be producing your own power, fixing the power problem, and getting money back at the same time, which would be funding your programs. Also, so in this academy, we learned a lot about the environment, the impacts we're having, what we could be doing to lessen our impact. And so in a system like this, a small one-house system, your GHG equivalencies, which is what you're putting off, you're offsetting, you're taking out approximately 815 gallons of gas, 7,800 pounds of coal, 17 barrels of oil, and it's also equivalent to about 195 tree seedlings being grown for 10 years, and that's the amount of oxygen that it puts out for those 10 years. And China contains excessive amounts of air pollution. It's a common known fact, and if you look in the back, you can see that there are people on their way to somewhere, and it seems to be dusk. It seems to be almost nighttime, but it's actually about 7 or 8 in the morning in Beijing. People are on their way to work, and the smog is so terrible that they have to wear masks just to be able to travel around. So we don't want this to happen in America, so we want to stop it right now. And this is the first step to stopping things like this from happening.
It's very difficult to describe everything that we learned in the academy in just these few minutes, but one of the things that we learned was we gained information about not only solar energy, of course, but other subjects such as careers and earth awareness. We learned the valuable lesson that the solar panel it's expanding, which means that jobs will also be more available, and the earth awareness part of it was that we were able to go to the water conservation, where we learned about the valuable lesson also that saving water means saving energy. And we also had hands-on experience. We got to build our own phone charger, like solar phone charger, and it was really, really neat because we can now charge our phones whenever the sun is out. It's a very good thing. And we also learned how to collaborate with others, which is the evidence is here. I mean, we're all from different schools, even from different districts, and we all come together to present this. So.
I want to thank you for your time, and just one last thing is I want to say that what we're bringing to you is I hope you guys see it as a chance to start to set the precedence right for every other district, to start going green, to start saving money, start investing in our future. And we just hope that you can take advantage of this opportunity we brought to you today. Thank you for your time, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I want to tell them about, one more more thing. There's actually a 30% federal tax rebate, which is what we were talking about in your tax credits you got back. And that's temporary legislation, so that's going to end in 2017. So if you guys want, you're going to get that extra 30%. You're going to make your money back all that much faster. So you guys would just have to do it before 2017.
Make sure you leave us a copy of your PowerPoint, Mr. Islam, so we can start now looking for solar panels for our schools.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, that was excellent. Thank you, that was excellent.
I won't be surprised if a solar power company
Before you leave Sun Power, we want to thank you for taking an interest in our children.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Gilbert, may I make a comment?
Yes.
Just a board for your acknowledgement. These students really did awesome. We went there. I went with Dr. Ed D'Souza. If you've seen how they build those projects, it's really outstanding. The students did, during the time they should be doing something else. So it is an awesome project. I thank Sun Power being with us doing this for our students. Furthermore, I'd like to give you a quick update. We already engaged talking to some of the providers. Sun Power is one of the large provider in this solar energy project. We have been in dialogue with the three providers. I met with the three different providers. I'm going to bring you proposals to bring this project to go live as soon as we can, because you heard that the time is running out to take advantage of some of the opportunity funding as a credit or other options are available. So I'm looking for best option for our district. So I'm working on it, just for your information.
Thank you, Mr. Islam. Next, we're down to public comments. Comments from the floor on an item that is not on the agenda. Any person wishing to speak will be granted 3 minutes to make a presentation. Do we have some?
Yes, Miss. Thank you, Ms. Gilbert.
Yes, before we get started, please remember that, please be mindful of the time clock. Mrs. Valenzuela will be checking your time so that you will give everyone an opportunity to speak.
The first person, Joyce Hampton.
Good evening, honorable members of the board, interim superintendent Islam. I'm Joyce Hampton from Carter High School. At the beginning of the school year, things seem to be, it's like, oh, it's just so many kids. I'm saying, what is going on? Well, we had one less counselor. And I just wanted to come tonight to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing back one of our counselors to Carter. And I understand there was one given back to Eisenhower and Rialto. And we just appreciate it so much. I can't tell you how much it means to have another person there to help us. We're trying to have a college-going community, a college-going mindset, and we need more counselors to do that. And I just want you guys to marinate on this thought of lowering our numbers. I had more than 600 students at the beginning of the school year. And don't get me wrong, I was able to go to college to get a degree in education counseling. And thank you, God, I'm able to do that, do something that I wanted to do. I wanted to be here at Rialto Unified School District. I chose to be here at Rialto Unified School District. I want to stay here at Rialto Unified School District because I love working with students. I love working with the parents. I love my job. My caseload has gone down to 500 students. But I want you guys to just think about San Bernardino, their cap is 375 per counselor. Colton, our neighbor, 425 for each counselor. The national average for high school counselors is 350. For middle school, it's 415. And while I'm happy about the high schools, I still have to think about my colleagues. 59 seconds. My colleagues in middle school, 2 counselors for 3 grade levels. So I just want you guys to marinate on thinking about lowering those numbers so that we can offer the best services possible to our students, because they are important. And as you can see, the students that came through here, I was just, man, thank you for being here and being able to witness that. That was something exciting to see and to hear from these students. They were just great. But we want to continue that effort, and we want to have a hand in having all these students get these scholarships to not only historical black colleges, but the colleges here in California. And we need your help to do that. So please just think about those numbers lowering. I'm happy about 500, but if we can, start chatting about lowering those numbers, that would be great. Thank you for listening.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Thank you.
Next, Rosa Fuentes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rosa Fuentes. I'm a parent. Finally, today I make it good. Last time I forgot to say my name. Anyway, today I would like to start and to continue where I started. The first time I stepped here, it was with special education. As a mother of special education son, today I want to say my son is in college. He make it, he's there. And I was very happy to see when the teacher for Carter High School who made it happen, Miss Denise Miller. She's a wonderful teacher. He was with her for 1 year. He did construction and he did drafting design as well, and which is his career now in drafting design. And also, the thing that made really my son get into college, it was MESA, the MESA program. He spent 4 years at MESA. That was amazing what he did there. I believe that we need to support these programs to incorporate the special education kids who has the punch to do math, science, painting. They have it. We need just to find out what is that shown and incorporate to those classes with support, because it's a parent, we need to do a lot of support. It's not just the teacher, it's not just the principals, it's us, the parents too. So I want to thanks to the board, Mr. Montes, because without you, the audit couldn't never happen. In that audit bring a lot of things that we can see, the parents and the administration can see where they need to go to improve. But we can stuck in the audit. We need to go with those funds to make the things happen, because we had the audit, we have so many funds there, but we have to go to improve it, not to go to put it back and back. We had to go with the issues. We cannot say, well, that happened, it's going to happen again. Well, we're not going to let it happen because we saw what happened, and you saw what happened. So you had to approve or bring programs. You had to question why they need and why did this happen. Or when a parent came to complain here, you had to think about it. That audit bring a lot of issues to the light, and we are so sensitive now. So whatever happen, things little there, we're going to say, oh, because they did, that was the mistake, they let it happen. So that's why we in this situation. Yeah, it was the board fault, because you didn't question before all the wrong things we're doing, and that's why we're in big disaster now. But we can stick in that disaster. That's a karma headed, but it needs to pass. We need to pass in order to continue with education, and we see big change. We couldn't see those changes with this man there, Mr. Mohammed Islam. He's been doing a lot of job. It's not his fault that he came to this board and take the hit that he's been taking. It's a board for allow things happen before. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Islam.
Next person is Celia Zalia. Okay. That's all I have.
That's all. Do we have any for comments on agenda items, Mr. Islam?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I do. First person, Michelle Sanchez.
I probably don't need this, but I'll use it anyway since Saida likes to make sure we use the microphone. Good evening, board members, audience. Superintendent Islam, I appreciate you giving me the time tonight. As you know, my name is Michelle Sanchez. I've been a Rialto resident most of my life, and I'm here tonight to speak regarding the third series of bonds that are about to be issued. I'd like to thank the Dolenka Group for the job they did in the presentations. They were very well prepared, and they put it in a language so everyone could understand it, and I really appreciate that. They kind of just brought it down to a level that anybody, I think, could understand. And I just wanted to tell you that the trust the community had in the district has been severely damaged. I'm going to reference the nutrition services theft, the FICMAT report, special education report, destruction of documents, and most recently the Holocaust assignment. The community also sees our oldest high school, my alma mater, from over 30 years ago. I don't even want to tell you how many over 30 it was, without the new track and field and the Performing Arts Center that were listed on the first series of bond projects, and probably inspired a lot of people in this community to vote for Measure Y. And now they're projected to be done in 2017, which is a full 7 years after Measure Y was passed by the voters. After reviewing minutes from the Oversight Committee meetings, financial reports, and balance sheets, I, along with Mr. Montez, he spoke earlier and kind of stole some of my thunder, believe that we really need a financial review of Measure Y monies to detail exactly where those monies were spent and where we can avoid making some seem to be obvious mistakes in the future. And I did receive a response regarding the question I asked at the Measure Y town hall meetings regarding the legality of borrowing from the bond money. And I was referred to Ed Code 42603, which states that interfund borrowing is allowed with certain conditions. However, isn't Ed Code trumped by the Constitution and the sections that govern bond funds? We were told at the town hall meeting last week that bond counsel had been consulted, and we would get a written statement provided to us from the bond counsel that said it was okay to borrow the money. And I'm requesting at this point, I would really like to see, since Diane Romo did say that she would provide that for us, the written opinion of the bond counsel. And I have a couple of questions. There's check fees in the amount of $93,272 listed on the Statement of Revenues and Expenditures report from 6/30/2012. There's check fees in the amount of $69,711 listed on the Revenue and Expenditures report dated June 30th, 2013. And that's a total of $162,983 in 2 years in check fees. What is a check fee? And why are we spending that much money on them? On May 29th, I'll be real quick. 2013, 3 members of the Board of Education voted to pay a contractor an additional $48,128 because they made a mistake on a concrete pour for the Culinary Arts Academy and the Engineering Academy. We paid a consultant $296,763 to oversee the Oversight Committee for a year, as stated in the board minutes on April 23rd, 2013. And Sharon Flores stated at an Oversight Committee meeting on February 13th, 2014, that those $10 million in funds that were borrowed from the bond had been repaid. And I would really like to have a copy of the general ledger as it relates to the repayment of those funds that were borrowed from the bond.
Thank you.
You're
We will
very
get
welcome.
you a report,
Thank
like
you.
that was questioned by
Thank you.
requested by Board Member Montes. So
Well,
we
and
hope that will be
I think it will,
suffice.
and Superintendent Islam did say that a lot of these questions I have, he was going to provide at the next board meeting, and that was going to be kind of my closing statement.
Okay,
Thank you
you
for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Islam.
Ms. Gilbert, I want to acknowledge and welcome Michelle Sanchez. She accepted to serve at the Bond Oversight Committee. I really, I'm very glad to hear this, and you will be the active member. And again, I welcome you. I appreciate you want to serve, and everything you ask, we will present to you, and make sure you get all the response. And furthermore, I thank you willing to serve as a committee.
Thank you, Mr. Islam. That's why I raised that question earlier, because it seems as though we do need a different oversight committee or additional members on that committee. So we will work toward that.
You're correct.
Right.
We will.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we will move to public hearing, and there's.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I have one
Oh,
more.
I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
I was. Next person, Chris Meza. I hope I'm saying it correctly.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry. They didn't tell you to do that, did they?
Sorry.
First of all, I'm very impressed with some of the students of the district. I mean, there was a student trying to sell you on a solar system there, and he probably would have had a decent chance if he was an employee of the district. And I hate to take something so positive and turn it negative, but I have to address the elephant in the room, primarily because some of you on this board put it there. So I was at the town hall meetings. There was 7 Rialto residents, and the rest were district employees. So as a community, we are not stepping up to the plate, but we are now. I had 2 main concerns. One, which is that the FITMAT report showed that the procurement policies of the district were not being followed. These are the same procurement policies that are supposed to protect bond money, $98 million of bond money. The second was the borrowing from the fund to cover cash flow expenditures. We were reassured it was legal, although highly inappropriate, and it was needed to avoid the district going into receivership, which doesn't sound much better than it being illegal. But I found out yesterday there was a gentleman by the name of Phil Urabi that used to work at this district in the post that I think Mr. Islam currently has, which is superintendent or assistant superintendent of business services. He also had some interesting companies and side businesses that did business with the district. Revealed in the FITMAT report that he had contracts as a consultant while he was an assistant superintendent. We paid his company $300,000 in consulting fees to overlook the bond oversight committee. $300,000, 26 grand a month, for a body that rarely meets its quorum, rarely meets at all. The principal from Eisenhower pointed that out at the first town hall meeting. And I think that that's completely unacceptable. And I'm expecting the board to make a bigger issue out of this, and I think Ms. O'Kelly and Mr. Montes have. I kind of saw Ms. Gilbert at least say we need some strong people on the oversight committee, but I haven't seen you two really step up. I know you were upset when some of Mr. Urabi's companies, ECS, were brought to light. I'm just asking that you step up as a board to restore trust with the community. $98 million is a lot of money. $3 million went missing. Your accounting controls are extremely weak. Mr. Islam was gracious enough to allow us access to the general ledger, all the journal entries, and the competitive bids. It's public information. So other people in my group will be going through this. The trap shade structure, the cameras, this $300,000 in. You paid somebody to oversee the oversight committee. $300,000, and then the counselor here has 500 students. So I don't know you personally, but I really put the blame on you three, because ignorance often can be confused for conspiracy, and I see these two speaking up. But where have you three been? I haven't seen it. And the community is going to be made aware of that.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Islam. Next, we will go to public hearing, and there's none on the agenda. Consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by the Board of Education members or the interim superintendent for individual action. May I get a motion to approve the consent items E through J?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Preferential, are there any questions, any pulls? Preferential vote by our student board member.
Aye.
Vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Move to item K on the agenda, discussion action items. Action items will be enacted in one motion unless members of the Board of Education request specific items to be discussed. May I have a motion to approve items K1 through K3?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Any pulls, any questions, discussion?
Yeah, I just would like to make a comment. We really need to make sure we update really fast, or at least go out for bid, again, our pool of service providers and vendors and contractors. We've had a lot of issues, but yet we haven't changed, or at least gone out to look, to update and make sure we're getting the best services at the best prices, whatnot. You know, so there's
can't
more than
just-
enough reason to, you know, start at least advertising or RFQing.
And that's the direction I received from the board. The board, I can assure you that that's the direction we're going.
Okay.
And one thing I want to be crystal clear: some of the project you approved the contract because those projects hasn't started yet because of lack of funding, state funding or bond money. Those are we still have some kind of legal obligations because the contract was approved and issued to those those firm. So any future projects.
So we have projects that aren't going to be done that we have to pay for?
No, meaning you
They were
approved them,
but they weren't started.
we have not started yet, but they're approved. So we are looking those contracts also to ensure if there's a legality of we could cancel or start all over again. We are going to do that. So we're going to explore everything crystal clear. So make sure there's no.
And we want to be fair, you know, and open up the process for everyone. We don't want to make it seem like there's any particular companies that the district should be upset with or whatnot. But you know, we want to open up the process and be fair and let everybody apply. And I'm sure, you know, if they're good, they'll come back.
You're absolutely correct. That's the direction we're going.
And I was a little disturbed in the previous agenda when a couple of times they said that this particular contractor company has done lots of work for the district in the past. Well, that's not necessarily the best bid.
You're correct.
So.
And we'll make sure we follow your direction.
I think we were in the middle of a vote here.
Yes, we were, but that's all right. Any other discussion? This is a vote by board members only. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion is carried. Now we will go to item L on our agenda. Comments from the interim superintendent, Mr. Isla.
Thank you, Ms. Gilbert. We have two events coming ahead of us. One of them, October 2nd, 2014, at 6 to 8 p.m. at Carter High School. This is a community, invited community to come on our cultural diversity matter on the Holocaust things. So this Professor Damsky from San Bernardino Valley College will be the presenter. So everybody is invited to be at that event. Again, it's October 2nd, 2014 from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Carter High School. Please be there. He's a great speaker. He's a scholar, and he's been well recognized in this subject matter, so you'll enjoy his lecture. The second event we have a schedule October 10, 2014 at 5:30 p.m. at Cesar Chavez Dolores Huerta Center for Education. This is a Curtis Winton dedications ribbon cutting ceremony. Again, it's a Friday, October 10th at 5:30 p.m. We invited community leaders and others, and particularly we are honoring Mr. Winton and his family and his legacy to Rialto Unified School District. This is an event we've been planning for a long time. Finally, we are scheduled. His family member will be there. Many of them coming from out of town, so it's been confirmed. I invite everybody, please, if you can be there to support this event, honor Mr. Winton. I'd like to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Islam. Then we'll start with Marisol. Do you have a report?
Well, I would like to. Last week, I received, myself and another student received the Kiwanis. It's a tongue twister. Kiwanis Student of the Month Award, and I would just really. Thank you. And I would really like to acknowledge the Kiwanis Club and the organization for all the good that they do and for how they really try to help the students and acknowledge the students. And also, about the UCAN College Fair, I thought that was amazing. I thought that was just amazing. I spoke to many students, many underclassmen. They all are very excited for it. They were all very excited when a lot of them went, and they're all excited for hopefully for future years we can still continue that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Kelly.
Oh, I just want to thank everyone who came tonight. I know a lot of people have left now, but it's always uplifting to see our concerned citizens attending our meetings and being aware of what's going on. I was delighted to attend the Black Rose Humanitarian of the Year and Community Service Awards on the 12th, where our very own Angela Brantley, was Director of Child Welfare and Attendance, was honored for her outstanding contributions to the community. She's extremely deserving of this award, and I want to congratulate her once again. She's not here tonight, but let's give her a round of applause. And other than that, I've been busy moving, and I'm very tired, so have a nice night.
All right, Mr. Montez.
Thank you, Board President. Well, congratulations, Nancy, now that you mentioned it.
After a year.
Congratulations. Thank you, Board President Gilbert. I first would like to welcome everybody here tonight. Good evening, buenas noches. Buenas noches. I first would like to again congratulate the students and thank the staff for the You Can Go to College event. I'm really sorry I could not make it. It was during work hours, and I'm not always available for events during work hours. But I know Ms. Gilbert was there, and I know she represented the board well there in our district. And I was shocked to hear that $1.6 million were given in scholarships, and almost 100 students got those from our district. That's awesome. We definitely need to have another event like that. Don't wait a year; let's do it in 6 months. I just wanted to thank the city of Rialto and all of the people here in the district and the schools that participated on Saturday. The city of Rialto had that was September the 20th. They had a Rialto Family Festival down in the City Hall area, the downtown area. It was really nice. If you ever go to any of the city events, you have to go to the vendors and buy those really tasty bacon wrapped hot dogs. So I made sure to do that. It was a really nice event. They combined a bunch of other festivals this time, and it was good to see so many people, students from our district, parents from the district. I believe I seen some of the cheer leading squads and some of the other, and I believe some band members too from Eisenhower. Mr. Noden was down there, and it was really nice to see the community out. It wasn't too hot, so it was nice to see the community out there engaging. I did want to also share some concerns that I had recently. from some of our teachers. I've been hearing some concerns and support staff. Seems like for whatever reason, people are being told not to contact board members with concerns. We get emails all the time. We get phone calls. You know, we run into people. People share concerns with us. What we as board members decide to do with those concerns, whether we bring them forward to our superintendent or whether we bring them forward here to the district level or not, it's up to the individual board members. I think as board members, sometimes we use discretion, whether, you know, it's a concern just to share with us so we could be aware of maybe of how we can do things better or give us ideas or suggestions. And sometimes if it's a serious concern, we should bring it forward to the district level. And no one should be upset about that. No one should have anything against that. I know if the board has expressed deep concerns regarding anyone at the district level, asking people not to reach out to the board. I understand sometimes people want to take care of things on their own, but if we don't want the district level to do that, why would we, you know, allow it to be done at the school site level to our teachers and our support staff that are, you know, in the day-to-day front lines there? We need to make sure they feel supported. We need to make sure everyone feels appreciated, and if they have legitimate concerns, they should bring them forward, whether it's to the school side or the district level or to the board. Whether our school staff and teachers live here or not is irrelevant. They're part of this district, and you know, just because we're elected only by the people that live in the district boundaries doesn't mean that we're off limits to everybody else. It's not the way it works. We represent not just the people of this community, but also the staff and the teachers here. So, Mr. Islam, you know, if concerns keep coming forward regarding people asking staff and teachers not to reach out to the board, I'll continue to bring that forward to you, and you know, and hope that you can look into that. Sure. Other than that, I think it's awesome that our two teachers over there at Rialto High School did an awesome job with, you know, the recognition. I mean, geez, that's the kind of stuff that really the paper should be writing about, you know, and they do. Don't get me wrong, they do. So I expect to see the Rialto Unified School District write our own article in the Rialto School District Sun bulletin paper, and then you know, and of course, if the original Sun wants to have their own article about it too, we won't be mad at you for it. But we're doing great things. We're moving forward, you know, and these concerns being brought forth by the board, or by people in the community or wherever regarding Measure Y, we have reason to be concerned, you know. So it's not for anyone to be upset about. It's not for anyone to be worried about. Let's just make sure we do the right thing moving forward, and everything will be all right. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Montes. Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, President Gilbert. Just several things, most of them student-related. I am so impressed by our DSEC this year and our students in general. You know, it's been a while since we've turned it around to the point where it can be all about students for most of the board time. I appreciate that and thank all my board members for that. The solar project was, I have never been so proud. Mm-hmm. Solar is definitely a wave of the future. There are things that are on the verge of being broken through, meaning one of the problems with battery power, because some solar powers, if you watch any of the Alaska programs, they're off the grid, so to speak. And the battery power, there has been a breakthrough. I heard it, but I can't take you to it. But they did say that batteries have been extended specifically for cell phones, so that was a reference, to 10 times their life expectancy per charge. So if it lasts you, you know, a day, mine lasts about 2 days right now, that means I could get 20 days out of one charge. That is a major breakthrough. And I'm always on the websites looking for STEM items, solar, and anything like that. I want to thank Peggy Wheeler for heading that section up. Thank Ed D'Souza for doing the STEM. And I can always count on STEM previous to me being here. And definitely not before my time. Not much before, 5 years maybe before my time you were here doing it, but not before my inception, let's put it that way. You know, there are so many good people in our district that I really get choked up because a lot of them are here tonight. You know, they are committed, whether they're on the clock getting paid, whether they're off the clock not getting paid. They're here. And that's throughout the district. And it means a lot to the community that they don't know about it, but I see your faces. I see you at events. I see you weekends, as the rest of the board does, and some of the community that is out there. Thank you to Veronica Smith Izard, Mrs. Gilbert, and Mr. Islam for the UCAN event. I agree. We need our kids in college. We need, I'll get even more specific. Students need to plan for a continuous education after graduation from high school. Which brings up, does everybody graduate? Well, if they pass a KC, they get a graduation certificate. Other than that is a certificate of completion. Big difference to an employer if they watch. It's going to make or break you. It'll get you the job or not. Beyond that, the beauty of education and self-education after high school is you can choose your path. No one's going to watch whether you did your homework or not. Your money's paid. If you're there, it's up to you. If you do the work, it's up to you. You'll wash out after a year. But find something that inspires you, find something to move forward. Plan on that inspiration taking you forward with education, just like STEM and solar does for so many students. And that is a key why we have to find something to inspire our students before they graduate or leave us one way or another. We have many good candidates. We've got a board member up for election. We've got one who's decided not to run. Ms. Gilbert, thank you for your 12 years.
13.
13 years now. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. But by then I'll probably be totally gray. Piggybacking on something Mr. Montez said, I wanted my email on the website, and I would like to see every board member's email back on the website. We belong to the community. And whether it was your decision or someone asked you to remove it, they should be there so we can get contacted.
Just for you, has been restored, and
Thank you so
I
much.
emailed to all of you to let you know that it's been restored. So it's
I
not.
greatly
It's,
appreciate that.
So it will remain there unless you drag me otherwise.
Yeah, it's okay if we get inundated with, have you seen what's on the sun? Just a kudos to Bo. And any of you on Twitter, follow Bo. You'll get it before it's in print. Thank you much, Ms. Gilbert.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. And last, Mr. Ayala.
Well, thank you, President Gilbert, and good evening, staff and community.
I want to begin by just sharing that I'm married, three daughters, and 10 grandkids, and a former teacher of 34 years. I had about 180 kids a day that I had to take roll. That was just monumental by itself. So I start with that because there's some important issues to discuss. And, you know, I went to CSBA conference. Wish it would have been a concert.
It kind of is.
And I left there with one word that just keeps ringing. And that word was permission. And, you know, in my own household, I went out and bought some avocado trees today. I'll tell you where, one of the local big box stores, 50% off. Wow, I said, I don't really need these, but it's not a major ticket item. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plant them, and I did today. I almost had a heat stroke. Planted 4 of them, dug the holes with a shovel. Drank a lot of water, and I got the little pipes in there with the little holes for deep watering. Give it a try. But if I would have saw a car for 50% off, I know what that would have meant. Maybe a trip to Motel 6. I wasn't ready for that. You know, back to that permission. There was a lady that came up. I don't know her. I'll say her name, Michelle Sanchez. And she says, our trust has been damaged. Not yet. Not yet. We're still working on it. We're going to revisit Measure Y. And we're going to vote on it. And before I go any farther, I got to compliment these town hall meetings, the leaders, the organizers, the 5 or 6 people that organized it and went out of their way to help. Who? Our community. And then the 70 people that showed up because they cared. I mean, my hat's off to them. But we have 100,000 people here in this town. And I see these people many times struggling. And even though some people light their cigars with a $10 bill, others use that to open up a can of beans. Back to permission again. CSBA said, if you're going to move forward with important events, it's very simple. Just get permission first. So, how do you get permission with 100,000 people? We all know how that happens. Yes, they won't all come to vote, but let's just say you get 10%. Simple math. That's 10,000 people. 70 is a far cry from 10,000. Back in 2010, there were only 2 districts that were successful in obtaining these bonds. Why were we successful? Because we promised that there would be no further increases. We promised. But we were blindsided. By who? State of California. I'm proud of living here, but they changed the game from 40 years to 25 years, which meant all of a sudden the money was going to be more costly, and the money that we'd already borrowed, it escalated $10. Now, if the voters say no, how are they going to say no if they don't get a chance to vote? I'm telling you, it has to go on the ballot. And our voters, the ones pushing baskets, whoever wants to vote, has to revisit this again. And I'll say this. I worked without air conditioning for 20 years. And when sawdust and stuff, it was horrible, but it was my job. I'm not saying that we need to go back there, but buildings don't teach kids. That's why we spend 90% of our budget on staff, because they're the ones doing the job. And a lot of the decisions that we've made in the past, in the last 5 years, were to keep great people, not good people, employed. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share some words tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Well, I've been busy since our last board meeting. I attended the Black Rose celebration with Ms. O'Kellan. Mr. Martinez was there. I welcomed the Relay for Life at Rialto Middle School for the district, and I walked one lap. It got hot. I just stopped. But in lieu of that, I got up at 5 o'clock Sunday morning to help make breakfast for the people who were there and had been walking all night, along with Mr. and Ms. Silver, who is sitting here in the audience, and a lot of more people that represented our district at the Relay for Life. And we all know that next month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and all the other cancers are acknowledged in the Relay for Life. And I just want to thank everyone in the city of Rialto who helped make that once again a successful event. Said is over there nodding her head. She was there also. I went to one of the town hall meetings, and I was a little disappointed that not enough people came out to hear what is going on with the Measure Y. I went to the Rialto Family Festival with Mr. Montez and other people from the community, and then we got to see all of our students who just come out and are very community-minded. And that goes back to our parents who live here, who let their children not just come to school, but to participate in activities beyond the classroom. And then, of course, I went to the UCAN meeting at Carter High School. And yes, I did contact Mr. Islam when I found out about it and asked him, was it possible for Rialto Unified School District to participate in this, because I knew it was an important event for our students. And although it's historically black colleges and university, they are not just recruiting African American students. So I want to make sure you understand, and you saw the students, the diversity of the students who received the opportunity to have a scholarship. So it makes us real proud that we were able to do this for our students early in the school year. They didn't have to wait until the end of the school year and say, will I be able to go to college? Will I have some money? Is anyone even thinking about helping me get to school? These children know already it's just September, and they know that they have an opportunity to go to college if they follow through and graduate in June. They already know that they can go to college. And I was sitting with one of the recruiters from my alma mater, Hampton University. And unfortunately, the student that, when I was there, the student that got the scholarship was from Summit High School, but that's okay. They're still our students. But the recruiter allowed me to hand her the certificate to say she was admitted to Hampton University. And the smile on the students' faces was just priceless. You couldn't believe how excited they were. And I had one student from Eisenhower, she was here tonight, who was one of the $68,000 recipients, but not from Benedict College. She was from for Tuskegee. And she told me, I said, "Are you excited?" And she said, "Well, I'm just trying to take it in because I started not to come. But my counselor told me I needed to be here today. And so I came." And so she was just excited. And I said, "Did you let your parents know?" She said, "I got to get it into my head first." But she was so cute saying that. And it was just, oh, the students, the smiles is just, and Mrs. Valenzuela was there, and of course, Mr. Islam's. Everybody who was there witnessed what I'm saying. So, and of course, Mrs. Smith-Lazard put on a wonderful. She did this. She got it going, and she made it happen. And then everyone else came in to support her. So thanks again, and for everyone who helped you on your staff. Our students have gotten off to a great start this year. This is just September. And it just goes to show you that even though the turmoil that the district goes through on the administrative level and all the stuff that's reported in the paper, the negative press that we get, our students are still resilient. They are really resilient. But they need that scaffolding to help them remain that way. And that comes from the great staff that we have here at Rialto. 13 years, and I've seen some wonderful people come and go, and many are still here at Rialto. And the success of our students is based on the staff that we hire and the staff that we support to help them do their job. Like Dr. D'Souza, who's brought in millions of dollars to this district in helping write grants and so forth. So I just want to say that congratulations so far to the students who've made great strides from the summer, the MESA program, the STEM program, the solar program. I was so proud of these students who could just articulate what they had learned. It's just
I think we ought to hire 'em.
wonderful, just wonderful. But anyway, that's it. I'm done. But before we close tonight, we have I have a sad message that I want to bring to the staff and to the viewing audience. We're going to adjourn our school board meeting in memory of Mrs. Margie Casey, who passed away on Friday, September 12th at Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. With her family by her side, Mrs. Casey was employed as a classroom teacher in the Rialto Unified School District for 19 years. At the time of her passing, she was a kindergarten teacher at Garcia Elementary. Noted as a loving and devoted daughter, wife, mother, grandmother, friend, and educator, Mrs. Casey leaves behind a husband, 3 children, a daughter-in-law, and 1 grandchild. Our hearts and thoughts are with the Casey family in their time of this great loss. And I was able to go to her viewing last Sunday at Rose Hills Cemetery, Mortuary, Chapel. And I was just amazed. I know it was over 300 people there for her viewing. A lot of the staff and administrators from the district were there. So I just want to say we would like to have a moment of silence and adjourn this meeting in Mrs. Margarita Casey's honor. So at this time, let's just have a moment of silence. Thank you. And let's just remember that the students at KC who had her as a teacher have suffered a tremendous loss. So I hope that the staff will be able to help them and support them for the remainder of this year. And with this, may I have a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and second. Preferential vote by our student board member.
Aye.
Board members?
Aye.
Aye. The time is 9:40 and the meeting is adjourned.